Hi, everyone. Thanks for tuning in to this NGWA Waterwell Journal video interview called Catching Up. This is Mike Price, Senior Editor of NGWA's Waterwell Journal. And today, I'm speaking with past Groundwater Foundation McElhaney Lecturer, Marvin F. Glotfelty, RG, a Principal Hydrogeologist at Clear Creek Associates, LLC, in Scottsdale, Arizona. And we'll be discussing a host of topics related to drilling wells. With February's Waterwell Journal covering drill bits, tips, and techniques, we thought it would be a good time to catch up with Marvin. Welcome, Marvin. Thanks for your time.
Thank you. Glad to be here.
To begin, what drilling challenges are you hearing most from waterwell contractors when they talk to you about working on production wells, and how do you advise them on possible solutions?
Well, one of the problems that drillers almost always have when times get busy, like they are now, is not finding enough drilling rigs, but finding enough qualified drillers to operate them. So I know that the drillers in my area, in the southwestern United States, are battling that right now. But another thing that's come up that we haven't seen as much in the past is discharge of fluid during pumping tests or well development. We have to discharge fluid in an urban area or even in rural areas. There are more regulatory constraints than there used to be. We can't just put it in a dry wash without any permitting like we used to. So there's a lot of limitations, and that is sometimes limiting the overall schedule of the well. So we're bumping into that quite a bit.
Gotcha. And proper well design and construction was the focus of your 2012 McElhaney Lecture. What did you learn from giving it and from those who sat in on the lecture?
Well, when I did my McElhaney Lecture back in 2012, it was really a great opportunity for me because I traveled extensively around the country. I gave that presentation about 40 times in, I think it was 17 or 18 different states. With that travel, it was a great opportunity to see the local situations and challenges faced by different drillers. There are different considerations from place to place, and different states have different laws on drilling and so on. So I recognized that and actually was able to incorporate that into my talk because the economics of water well, which was my topic, that applies everywhere. And it's just a different spin on the same issue. So it was a great opportunity to meet and visit with drillers from a lot of different locations across the country, and actually in several other countries internationally. And so I found that the principles of water well design and construction, they hold steady everywhere, but they're applied in different ways when you have a different purpose of the well and when you're in a different geologic terrain.
Okay. And you've recently authored a book, The Art of Water Wells, that will be available this spring by NGWA Press. Can you give us an overview of the book and what you hope readers can learn from it?
Sure. This book is really a labor of love. I've been giving presentations pretty regularly for over 30 years. And so what I wanted to do just as a, like I say, a labor of love was to distill all those presentations into a document. Turned out to be quite an effort. I now greatly respect others who have put together a larger, more substantial document. And that book is intended to be understood and understandable, but technically accurate to all well designers. Now that's a pretty broad group. So that means well drillers, hydrogeologists, engineers, homeowners, industrial employees, etc. A lot of different individuals. So I tried to stay away from technical jargon, and if I did use it a little bit, I try to define it in parentheses or somewhat. So it's got a lot of figures. It's very graphic, which allows the reader to envision what I'm trying to say. And yet it gets into the weeds. It gets into details on the measurements, the calculations that are real important. They're not trivial to the design of a well. I have a section in there on the life cycle economic analysis, such as I spoke about in my McElhaney lecture. And I have another chapter in there on site selection for wells. That can be a big deal. And of course, in this day and age, even though there's still folks that choose to employ a water witch instead of a hydrogeologist, that's their option. But this gets into some of the technical aspects of actual selecting the best well site. So it's a much more brief document than some of the others that are out and available now, but I'm real proud of it. My wife did the illustrations, and so they're awesome. And I look forward to folks being able to give it a look.
We're excited to see it in our hands here soon, so look forward to it.